Unbelievable. Coco Gauff unleashes Djokovic's secret skill. Will she outshine the tennis legend? Under the glittering lights of the WTA Finals, a storm was brewing, not in the skies, but on the court. Coco Gauff, the prodigious American tennis sensation, stood at the baseline with her trademark composure, her eyes narrowing in focus. The crowd roared in anticipation, yet she seemed lost in a world of her own. What they didn't know was that Gauff wasn't just here to win. She was here to unveil something new, something unseen before. A hidden weapon inspired by none other than the man who has redefined tennis mastery, Novak Djokovic. Whispers had spread across practice courts weeks earlier. Murmurs that Coco had been studying Djokovic's most mysterious and underrated gift, the art of elasticity, anticipation, and mind control on court. Many had brushed it off as media hype, but tonight that rumor was about to become reality. Djokovic's secret skill, the invisible edge. When you watch Novak Djokovic play, you notice his baseline defense, his unshakable mental strength, and his almost supernatural flexibility. But beyond those visible strengths lies a secret, neural anticipation. Djokovic doesn't just react to shots, he predicts them. His brain processes his opponent's motion patterns in fractions a second. It's not reflex, it's prediction through intuition and study. He knows where the ball will go before the racket even swings. And now, Coco Gauff, the young woman who idolized Serena Williams, modeled her resilience on Venus, and developed her speed from her own youthful energy, had decided to master that invisible art. A meeting in Monte Carlo. It began quietly, far from the cameras, in Monte Carlo. During the off-season, Gauff had been spotted at a private training facility near Djokovic's practice base. A few insiders hinted that the Joker himself had been generous with advice. He admired her work ethic, her willingness to learn like a sponge. She asked questions no one else had asked him. How do you stay so calm when the world expects you to win every time? How do you know where the ball is going before it leaves your opponent's racket? Djokovic smiled that familiar, cryptic smile and said, "It's not about where the ball is. It's about where you believe it will be." That single sentence changed everything for Coco Gauff. She began practicing differently, not just hitting balls for hours, but studying opponents, reading their shoulder angles, foot patterns, and even breathing rhythms. Like Djokovic, she was learning the rhythm of human intention, the transformation. Months later, her game began to shift. Gone was the impulsive baseline aggression of a teenager chasing perfection. In its place emerged a poised, mature tactician who could slow time itself. Fans began noticing how she seemed to be everywhere at once, intercepting drop shots, redirecting cross-court winners, and reading serves as if she had X-ray vision. It wasn't magic. It was Djokovic's secret, executed through Gauff's fierce determination. Coaches began calling it cognitive defense. Commentators called it the Gauff glow. But Coco herself had a simpler explanation. It's not about reacting fast. It's about being already there before it happens. Her mind had evolved into a predictive engine, and her results proved it. The clash of mental titans. The WTA Finals in Singapore. Gauff stood across from Aryna Sabalenka, the reigning world number 1 and queen of raw power. Sabalenka's serves were bullets. Her ground strokes thundered like cannons. Most players crumbled under her intensity. But Gauff, now operating in Djokovic's mental wavelength, did something astonishing. She absorbed Sabalenka's storm, not with force, but with foresight. The match became a masterclass in tactical anticipation. Each rally was like a chess game, with Gauff predicting Sabalenka's moves 2 shots ahead. Sabalenka would line up for a down-the-line backhand, and Gauff was already there. She disguised a drop shot, and Gauff sprinted forward before the racket moved. By the second set, the crowd could sense something extraordinary. Commentator Chris Everett whispered in disbelief, "This is uncanny. She's playing with Djokovic's mind and Serena's power." Flashbacks and focus. As the second set wore on, Coco's thoughts drifted briefly, back to the first time she watched Djokovic play at Wimbledon. She was only 10 years old. Her father, Corey, had told her, "You see that man? He doesn't just hit the ball. He controls time." That phrase had stayed with her. And now, standing in the center of her destiny, She was doing the same, controlling not just time but expectation. She had grown from a girl who wanted to prove herself into a woman who believed in herself. The Djokovic influence was no longer imitation. It had evolved into innovation. The turning point. Midway through the third set, with scores locked at 5-5, Sabalenka unleashed a 121 miles per hour serve. Pure fire. Gauff read it, almost impossibly, and returned it deep cross-court with a flick of her wrist. Gasps echoed through the stadium. Sabalenka stared across the net, shaking her head with a wry smile. She mouthed, "How did you know?" Coco didn't answer. She simply pointed to her temple. The crowd erupted. It was not arrogance. It was revelation. The message was clear. I saw it coming. Moments later, Gauff broke serve, then held to love, sealing the victory with a forehand winner that sliced through the air like lightning. Scoreline: 6-4, 3-6, 7-5. Gauff had just defeated the world number one, using Djokovic's secret art. After the match, the legend approves. Minutes later, her phone buzzed. A message from ND. You saw it before it happened. Proud of you. Novak, the future beckons. After that WTA Finals match, Coco didn't celebrate wildly. She simply sat on her chair, towel over her head, whispering to herself. One step closer. She knew greatness isn't a single match, nor a single skill. It's a lifetime of evolution, and tonight was one chapter in that unfolding book. Her next goals? Grand Slams, the Olympics, the #1 ranking. But deeper than that, she wanted to redefine what mental mastery means in women's tennis. Just as Djokovic shattered the idea that defense is passive, Gauff was proving that foresight is power. A new era begins. Weeks later, she was asked in an interview, "What's the biggest lesson you learned from Djokovic?" Coco paused, smiled, and said, "That control isn't about dominating others. It's about mastering yourself. Once you do that, the game plays itself." Her words echoed across sports media, inspiring young athletes worldwide. Because that was the true secret. Not anticipation, not flexibility, not strategy. The real Djokovic skill she unleashed was self-mastery. And in that, she had already outshone every legend before her. Epilogue: the Coco Gauff philosophy. In the years that followed, a new tennis philosophy took hold among coaches and young players, the Coco Gauff method. It combined Djokovic's mental fortitude with Gauff's emotional intelligence. Players learned not just to read the game, but to feel it. And in every rally, every point, every match that would follow, a trace of his evolution remained. Proof that greatness is not static. It's shared, inherited, and reinvented. Coco Gauff didn't just borrow a legend's secret. She transformed it into her own, and in doing so, became the legend others would someday emulate. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and share. Till next time.